It is likely to be a booming evening across much of central and eastern Kentucky. I'm tracking the potential for severe thunderstorms with the very latest coming up.
We take you inside the state's Emergency Operations Center as emergency managers track severe storms across the state tonight.
UK hospital leaders have a warning tonight about a troubling trend they're seeing in the emergency room in recent weeks.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening to you. Tonight we are tracking some dangerous weather across parts of Kentucky, and we have declared a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day.
Strong and severe storms are expected across the bluegrass throughout the night. We begin with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. He shows us what he's tracking on the First Alert Defender. Chris?
Yeah, what we're noticing right now is the initial band of thunderstorms into parts of northern Kentucky is starting to fall apart. We talked about that a couple of hours ago. We thought that would happen. Western Kentucky, though, that is the big line, and that is going to roll its way toward the east. Now, we still have a tornado watch into parts of west central Kentucky until 9 o'clock this evening. Severe thunderstorm watch goes until 11 for the county shaded in yellow. But the line that prompted that initial watch into northern Kentucky is now weakened. That's nothing more than some gusty showers. Look what is taking over, though. The lightning from Bloomington, Indiana through Owensboro, west of the Bowling Green area, that is going to continue to work its way on toward the east. Now, out ahead of this, we've blown up a couple of little light showers, nothing to get excited about, but look at this mess into western Kentucky. Severe thunderstorm warnings, had a lot of flooding coming from these slow-moving cells into parts of far western Kentucky as well. E-Town, another 1 to 2 hours before that gets into your neck of the woods, and then eventually that northeastward progression of those storms will bring them into parts of central Kentucky. Look into western Tennessee and on the bottom of your screen, northern parts of Mississippi. Numerous tornado warnings are out with those cells into those particular areas. What to expect this evening, that line of strong and severe thunderstorms coming into central and eastern Kentucky, likely after 8 o'clock. With winds gusting to 40 miles per hour, if not higher. Heavy rain totals. It's the high wind threat that will take center stage with the prime time from those thunderstorms again coming late evening to the wee hours of the morning. Sometimes in a setup like this, guys, you can get this line to spin up a little tornado or two, and that's what we will be on guard for later this evening. Now, coming up here in about 10 minutes, we've got a new hour-by-hour forecast with the highest resolution computer model that we have. Basically, it's a computer model that has the best vision of these storms. We'll show you what it does in just a few.
Thank you, Chris. And with all of that going on, Kentucky emergency managers are also keeping a very close eye on the storms as they move across the state.
State leaders are monitoring damage reports from a command center in Frankfort. Garrett Weimer joins us live to continue our First Alert weather team coverage. Garrett?
Well, right now it's beautiful out here. It rained for about 10 minutes and not even very hard, but since then it's been pretty calm out here in Frankfort. But Kentucky emergency management officials have raised their level of awareness as the storms move on in, and we got a look inside the state's Emergency Operations Center here in Frankfort as they get ready to respond.
We feel very confident that the preparedness level is good. Mother Nature will do what it's going to do, and we're prepared to respond to that.
The Commonwealth's Emergency Management Director says being prepared is the key because it's been months since we've last had this level of severe threat. Michael Dossett says they're taking it especially seriously. He says they'll staff the state EOC at what they call virtual level 4.
Basically what happens is we monitor all of our systems. We have our ESF partners online for consultation and contact should we get any damage that would be reported or request for state assets.
Dossett says they've been in contact with emergency management officials in all of Kentucky's 120 counties. They've also been on several conference calls with the National Weather Service throughout the day to stay up to date and ready as the weather changes.
We take all the advisories very seriously in terms of preparedness. You know, and the message I'd like to get out is have a plan and work your plan.
Dossett reminds us the important things in potential weather like this. Keep watching the forecasts and keep those weather radios handy. The bottom line, he says, is know what's going on and be prepared. Live in Frankfort, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Garrett, thank you. You'll want to make sure that your outdoor Christmas decorations are secure before storms arrive. At the Kentucky Horse Park, crews are taking some extra precautions for southern lights. Horse Park leaders say the lights are secure and they have maintenance crews on hand in case something happens.
We've had winds in the 50, 60 mile an hour range before, and it hasn't created any problems for us. But you try to prepare for that as best you can, and then we see what happens and react as quickly as we can.
The Horse Park also has shelters available for guests in case severe weather moves through tonight. And stay on top of the weather and traffic with the WKYT Weather Plus Traffic app. Download it for free in the app or Google Play Store.
Reports of an armed intruder caused some frightening moments today at a state government building in Frankfort. Dozens of people were evacuated from the CHR building this morning. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office and state police investigated, but they determined the reports were not credible. Officer Don took this video of a building from Sky First this afternoon. Police say that they train for these kinds of reports, but as Hillary Thornton tells us, workers at the building say they had no training for this sort of thing.
The announcement that came over the intercom, it mentioned that there was a potential armed intruder in the building.
That is the message more than 500 employees heard about 10 o'clock this morning after police received a report of a man with a gun walking down a first-floor hallway.
An individual with a gun in a gray hoodie sweatshirt, dark blue jeans, white male, late 30s, early 40s.
Local, state, and federal agencies all then swarmed the building.
As soon as the announcement came on, I looked outside and they were here.
Police say this situation is a perfect example of why they train, and while they did not end up dealing with an active shooter, they say it was good to see that all that training paid off.
We know that if this ever occurs, and I hope it never does, but we're prepared for that.
While police training kicked in, helping evacuations go smoothly, some of the workers, including Jeff Griffith, who has worked here for 15 years, says while he has been through fire and tornado drills, he had to rely on instincts today, having no training for active shooter situations.
I haven't participated in any of that. Hopefully that'll change that.
Taking some learning points is something good police say can come from the otherwise chaotic morning.
Two things, you fight or flight. Either take off or you're going to fight. We had a lot of people that secured themselves in locked offices that would have made it difficult, hopefully, if something had happened, to get to them. So there's a lot of good things that come out of that today. Obviously, we will review this and look for lessons that we can learn from it.
In Frankfort, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
After police initially found no evidence of a gun, they continued to evacuate the building as a precaution. They spent a couple of hours after that doing a methodical sweep of each floor. New tonight, sheriff's deputies have arrested a couple they say lived with their children in horrible conditions. The Whitley County Sheriff's Office charged 39-year-old Deanne Walker and 51-year-old James Walker with child endangerment. A Whitley County social worker says she went to the Walker home on River Road today to give the children Christmas gifts and check on the home. But she says the couple tried to leave with the children without talking to her. A deputy later showed up at the home and says he found it infested with roaches. Investigators say there was also cat urine throughout the home. The children are now with social services.
A warning tonight from doctors at the University of Kentucky. They are seeing a spike in drug overdoses. Heroin is the usual suspect, but recently doctors have noticed more overdose in both fentanyl-laced heroin and synthetic marijuana. WKYT's Monique Blair has the story new at 6.
UK Hospital treats drug overdose patients very often, but doctors tell me the people who make it to the hospital are the fortunate ones, because many people don't.
Yes, a lot of people die at the scene and are never brought to the hospital.
Fentanyl, a drug used in hospitals for anesthesia, can be up to 100 times more powerful than morphine.
Of course, there's no quality control among street drugs, so you're never really sure how much heroin or how much fentanyl or what combination you're getting.
And now, as UK Hospital Vice Chairman of Emergency Medicine Charles Eckerline tells us, if users get even a small amount of fentanyl in their system, it can cause respiratory depression and death.
If you don't seek medical attention, after 3, 4, 5 minutes, you'll end up with a cardiac arrest and you can end up with brain damage or even death.
But that's not the only drug that UK hospital doctors have seen skyrocket in the past few months. Another dangerous drug on the rise is synthetic marijuana.
We saw 5 or 6 just in one shift a week or two ago.
Dr. Eckerline says synthetic marijuana makes the patient more confused, more agitated, and more combative. So oftentimes they are put into restraints. Synthetic marijuana oftentimes does not wear off for several hours. Dr. Eckerline tells me naloxone is a drug used to reverse the symptoms of a heroin overdose, but he tells me it must be used very quickly in order to be effective. In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
UK hospital didn't release specific numbers for how many overdose patients they've treated recently.
New tonight, the Kentucky Attorney General's office has settled a lawsuit against the maker of OxyContin. The lawsuit, first filed back in 2007, accused Purdue Pharma of marketing the prescription painkiller as non-addictive. But the state claimed there was a wave of addiction and increased medical costs. The lawsuit was settled for $24 million. Purdue Pharma did not admit any wrongdoing, but has since replaced OxyContin with a new version.
A series of executive orders issued by Governor Bevin yesterday grabbed attention all around Kentucky. Among them, an order that removes the name of the county clerk from Kentucky marriage licenses. That issue had been debated for months as Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis and a few other clerks refused to issue licenses to same-sex couples. Another order suspended former Governor Beshear's order that reinstated voting rights to felons, while another put a freeze on hiring for state government positions. WKYT political editor Bill Bryant said the orders weren't surprising.
There are obviously those who strongly disagree with some of the actions that the governor took, but these are things that he also promised during the course of the campaign he would do, or at least strongly hinted that he would do shortly after taking office.
We went to the Rowan County Clerk's office to get Kim Davis's reaction to the marriage license order, but she did not want to talk to us.
Today, volunteers served hundreds of people a Christmas meal in Rowan County.
Hi, Frank. How are you? You eating here today?
The community soup kitchen in Moorhead had more volunteers than ever for this year's meal. The Christmas meal brings in double the normal crowd to the soup kitchen. Guests received more than a hot meal. They were also given winter clothes.
A lot of these kids that are coming here today won't get a lot more than what they get today, and that's, we usually try to fill them up with whatever they can carry out.
Many first-time volunteers at the soup kitchen have also committed to helping out after the holiday.
It's the mad rush to get those last-minute Christmas presents all day. Some of the busiest traffic in Lexington was around major shopping centers, but time is running out for procrastinators wanting to find the perfect gift to put under the tree. Fayette Mall is open until 11 tonight. Shoppers will have 12 hours tomorrow from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.